Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to another week, Siege of Middenheim, episode 10, in fact. This is the 10th episode of Dungeons & Dragons Siege of Middenheim that we are doing. It will not be the last one, I don't think, but I think we are approaching that fairly rapidly. Which is good news, because that means we can start on a new, even more exciting story, although that last part may be hard. For those of you that have shown up today, thank you very much. I appreciate you all being here. And I really think that we're going to simply just jump right into it. Looks like we're still waiting on a couple of players, but as you know, they seem to trickle in all around this time occasionally. So I will go ahead and turn on Discord, and we'll see how everybody has.
Going inside your parasite, the heart skip a beat a couple times. Live on the one, it's your mind coming undone. It's holy shit, can't do that part. I'm beautiful. It's a perfect dream inside my soul. It's a murder scene. I'm a creature. It's up and no good. I love you like a vampire would.
That's enough out of Jackson. Okay, well, glad you all could be here. Thank you. Looks like we're still having some people trickle in. But that's okay. I've muted him for those that are still in the channel. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I have saved all of your lives.
Much appreciated.
It appears to be a three-man show currently, although Dalton appears to be awake. Brian said he might be a little late, so we're really just waiting on Liam. Okay, good. There, you're now unmuted again.
Thank you.
Problem.
And I'm sorry, I legitimately did not know we were on.
It's okay.
I was just singing.
It was pleasant for about 10 seconds, and then I had to mute
you.
Yeah. But, Jackson, since you are in clearly a good mood, why don't we talk to you and see how your week has been while I go grab my garlic knots out of the toaster oven.
It's actually not been a good week.
Oh, well, tell us about it anyway.
So basically I got a call today from the visa office in India saying that my visa's been rejected. And it's fine. I'll fill it out again. There was an error in the documents. Let's see who can guess what the error is. Will would probably get it. It's a very common error.
Okay.
All right, then. I got my birthday wrong.
What?
I got my birthday wrong.
How is that even possible?
I was born January 2nd, 1995. So I put down 01/02/95. Do you understand what went wrong?
You got the month and the day mixed up?
I got the month and day mixed up. They thought I was born February 1st, so they had no record of me. So now I had to fill out that entire fucking process again. And I gotta go through the fucking background check one more time. Because that's a pain in the ass, because apparently they were checking the wrong fucking person. I don't know who is the same person that has the same name as me that's born on February 1st, but I don't want to meet that motherfucker. And I just want to get this fucking visa filled out.
Interesting.
So yeah, other than that, I locked someone out of the building. And I've been reading manga constantly this week.
It's pretty much like a normal Jackson week, though, for reals.
Yeah. I read Congo Bancho. I'm almost finished.
Nice.
And yeah, it is insane. Like, legitimately, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And we'll get that because he fucking binged it in one goddamn night, apparently.
Is that true, Will?
Maybe.
Why do you make such poor life decisions?
No, here's what happened. I'm not shitting you. I sent him a message at, let's see, 1 o'clock in the morning over here, saying, "Hey, check out this manga Congo band show," and then he's like, "Oh, cool." Then at 7 o'clock in the morning, he goes, "That was amazing."
To be fair, it was actually morning over here, so I just
Spent the
read
morning.
it in all morning and half the afternoon.
That's 104 chapters.
Yeah,
It's not too bad.
pretty long chapters though, so
Yeah,
that's why it took so long.
but yeah, so that's been my week.
Fantastic. Except for that whole visa not working thing. I hope you get that worked out.
It's
So you can
already
go
been
meet
worked
your-
out.
So
It's
you,
just
you can go meet your future wife.
Exactly.
she better be comfortable working with fucking beef because I ain't handling that chicken bullshit.
Wookie.
Okay. Dalton, hello.
Hi.
Tell us about your week.
I suppose slightly eventful. I finally got my transfer worked out at my job, so that's fun. When in reality, I could have had it dealt fucking 2 weeks ago because some jackass, aka the store manager, was just like, "Oh yeah, I told people to tell you that you needed to call the other store to make sure it was a-okay," and I'm like, "What? That's all I had to do just to make sure it went through, and you didn't bother to tell me directly." So yeah, that was fun. So I got it situated. So I will be working at a new location now, and one that's closer to where I'm living now. So it's gonna be much easier for me, and I don't have to depend on people for rides. So that's good.
Yeah, that is.
Other than that, got a new game. Uh, obviously it's the Dwarves. That's the game.
What?
What's Steam? I like it because it's definitely like, what's the style? It's like pen and paper, choose your own adventure type of deal. But I mean, obviously it's a bit railroady because it has a main story and things of that sort. But like, there are certain events that you can take within the game, and you can decide how the game plays out for you. So I've been enjoying it. Of course, I bought it on sale for $20. So for a $20 game, I find it very good. The in-game cinematics and graphics are decent. The voice acting's decent, and combat's a little meh, but whatever. Game's about only dwarves, so I'm like, what's better than that? So, but yeah, just woke up, so
It
might
does-
sound a little.
It does sound like it's right up your alley.
I mean, it's dwarves. I mean, how? From what I heard, it's literally like a 15-hour game that's just a wonderful experience, and I'm like, for $20, it doesn't sound bad,
No, it's not terrible at all.
Yeah. So, I've enjoyed the first hour and a half of it. So I can't wait to continue playing it.
Well, good. Fantastic. Will, move on to you. Hello.
Hello.
How is life across the pond?
Yeah, it's going good. Weather's starting to turn, but I guess that doesn't mean much when you Americans have much more extreme weather than we do.
It's true.
Yeah,
For you, it's just always shitty, right? That's kind of the...
yeah, that's pretty much
Okay.
it.
Right.
So now instead of being almost gale force winds at, I forgot my mental Fahrenheit conversion numbers, but instead of being 14 degrees with gale force winds, it's now more like 5 degrees with gale force winds. So that's fun.
5 degrees is like 40 something. in Fahrenheit.
Almost
So
freezing. Yeah.
yeah. It's a chill. There's a chill there for sure.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Needs to be colder.
Oh God, please no. We have currently been trying to organise what we're gonna do for Christmas, because we obviously live on an island away from the rest of our family. So, and my mum works for the church, so Christmas is one of her busiest times apart from Easter. So, we're going to end up having Christmas kind of at the beginning of December, and probably another half Christmas probably after New Year. So, with different family members. So we're trying to get all of that organised, which is going to be fun.
So wait, you're going to get multiple Christmases this year?
Pretty much, which means I get 2 pairs of socks instead of 1.
Yeah. No,
So
Christmas,
that's
it's
the thing.
so funny. One of my favorite things that you see online sometimes is like, why did everybody give me money when I was a kid? Now I need the money.
Yeah.
I've always found that quite amusing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to be fun.
Sounds it.
Other than that, it's been pretty chill week.
Well, chill is better than. I see what you did there, by the way. Chill is better than other craziness that may or may not occur. So.
Nice.
I forgot that I hadn't changed Nox token.
I think you could do better.
That was a weird sound. Fire. Hope it did not explode. Okay. So next, but certainly not least, Brian. Hello.
Hello. I made it.
You did. You did indeed. You didn't miss anything, except for the fact that Jackson's visa got denied. Just having to work that out.
Oh, that sounds pretty normal.
Perfect. Brian, tell us about your week. What's been going on?
Yeah, fuck you too, by the way.
Not much. Another week, having a garage sale this weekend. Some fun things happened this morning, which is why I'm late. Yeah. Just got out of the hospital, or the doctors, whatever you want to call it. Had to get a tetanus shot. Was setting up a mouse trap, one of the really big ones.
Yeah.
And it didn't click all the way into place, and the person that I was helping out said it was okay to let it go. So, let it go. Bad idea. Instant regret, as the spring went through the soft part of the thumb, the bottom of the thumb. Yeah, that was fantastic. Didn't hurt or anything, but there's a large hole in a bandage. So yeah, that was my morning.
You know, it's funny that you injured your thumb. Because I also had an incident today in which I injured my thumb.
Oh no.
I was fixing my vacuum cleaner. I was replacing the filter so that I could get ready to vacuum, because vacuuming in my house is an ordeal because I have cats.
Animals.
Yeah. So you got to clean the filter. I have to clean the filter in between sections of my house that I vacuum. And at one point I was cleaning the filter out and I put it back in and I turned it on, and then all of a sudden there was blood everywhere. And I look down and I see that my thumb has this nasty gash in it, cut off a huge chunk of my thumb basically. And I was like, what the hell happened? I had no idea what happened. So I went to the bathroom, I wrapped it up, I washed it out, wrapped it up. And then I went back to the vacuum cleaner and I see that there was a piece of glass that apparently shot out of the vacuum cleaner and sliced my thumb open. So.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah,
You're lucky you didn't hit like your throat or anything.
dude. Yeah, it would have been bad. Yeah, I took some pictures. I'll send them to you.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it was.
We
it
demand
was
proof.
an
Otherwise, we won't
interesting-
feel bad. I mean,
Interesting ordeal for sure.
not as bad, maybe. Or, I don't know, words.
I guarantee you that was much more painful than my experience.
So, yeah, yours sounds like, oh shit, mousetrap went wrong. I should probably take safety precautions just so something bad doesn't happen. His was, hey, something bad happened. What the fuck happened?
Dude, sir, I was so confused as to what occurred.
Oh, I get you.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah, it
That's
was
always
like
the
it was like
walls.
all over the vacuum cleaner and like
Looks like a crime scene.
yeah, dude, it was pretty crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those cuts. It was one of those cuts where like it doesn't look that bad, but like you see all the blood, you're like, why is this
Stop it,
bleeding?
he's being a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it.
Dude, no, it was bleeding everywhere. I had
It's
to
like
to
a
clean
super
off
bad
my
paper
vacuum
cut.
cleaner. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
it was,
And
Ah.
like you can already tell, like by looking at it now, like that whole piece of skin is gonna just die and fall
No,
off,
it's
and
just
it's gonna be
gonna fall
gross.
off.
Finger injuries are always the worst because they just bleed so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fingers and heads for whatever reason.
Oh, and I forgot. Lots of dot hack. Lots of dot hack. Delicious dot hack. Yes.
It's been so long since I heard about Dot Hack that when you posted that out, I legitimately thought, "What's that?"
Yeah, I saw it on Steam and I like started crying. I'm like, this is my childhood.
Mhm.
I've just beaten the first game. I
Never
have
played
3
Dot
more
Hack.
to go. You should play them. It's like Steampunk the video game.
Dot Hack was on Adult Swim, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was-
Oh yeah, I remember watching the show, Dot Hack Side. I remember, and there was the other one. I think what the games that you just got, Brian, are based off of. I didn't really watch
Yeah,
that
they're
one.
dot hack GU.
But Sign I watched, and it's still regarded as one of my favorite animes to date because
The
of
only-
how boring it was, which is surprising for me.
The
The
badass
only
main
thing,
character.
the only thing I remember is there was one episode where they spent the entire time talking about why somebody named their avatar PLT.
I know.
Yep.
It's great. I love it.
And it had something to do with that lettuce was flavorless, and I'm like, it's not flavorless. I don't know where the fuck you're getting that.
Well, no, she just didn't like the flavor of lettuce.
I
She just takes it out every time.
mean, it's just
Or it
crunchy
doesn't
water though. So
Yeah, but it still has a taste. Water has a taste.
Mhm.
Everything has a taste if you put your mind to it.
Boom. See?
Well, it's fantastic games. You should all play them. Yeah. had to get my 2 cents in.
anything else, Brian?
No, I'm just excited to have to deal with the new Noct, the little shithead that he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be good times.
Everything was
Speaking of
tastes-
shit,
Groundhog tastes great.
Megan, hello.
Hi, hello.
Tell us about your week. What's been going on?
My week's been pretty boring, but I did get today off because I'm a school teacher and we get every holiday off, so that was nice. What did I do today? I went to get my hair done today. That was nice.
oh,
It's a holiday?
Yeah, it's
Veterans
Veterans
Tomorrow
Day.
is.
Well, technically, yeah, but we get it off today. So.
Yeah, it was
And,
actually
yeah.
recently became a national holiday, like a month or 2 ago. They announced that it was going to be a national holiday this year because it never used to be.
Which is weird.
I don't make the rules; I just follow them.
True.
America.
And yeah, and watched about 50 more episodes of Naruto. So
Where are you at?
We
no,
just
what are we at? We're like 100 something.
so we just finished the episode where Sasuke leaves.
Sasuke leaves for good.
Oh.
Yeah.
No
yes.
spoilers.
With-
Ah.
Is it the waterfall fight?
No.
Yes,
No.
Oh.
The one where he leaves, like the very first time when he leaves.
Got it. Got it.
when he goes
So
to see
not the
Orochimaru.
waterfall fight.
That's not even when he leaves. He's already gone. Like, but
Yeah.
yes, but yeah.
But I
There's a difference. There's when he's kidnapped and when he legit leaves.
When he
when
leaves,
he chooses to.
yes.
Okay.
No, we're far past the Gaara / Naruto epic fight.
So have you gotten to the point where you fight the bone dude?
No, nope,
Okay.
not that far yet.
The Rock
That
Lee's your
guy's one.
favorite character, correct, Megan?
Wait, what? I didn't hear you.
The Rock Lee's your new favorite character, correct, Megan?
He just makes me so sad right now. Like every time he comes on the screen and he's just like crying all the time, it just makes me so upset.
Yeah.
Well, Guy Sensei is definitely. I had this fucking talk with I think Jordan. Guy Sensei, I think, is my favorite character of all time.
Why does that not surprise me?
It doesn't. It shouldn't at all.
Kakashi's my favorite currly and forever.
Because Kakashi's awesome. I mean,
As all girls' favorite characters are.
you know, you're
I
you're not wrong. To be fair.
I gotta ask this because I've always had this problem. What do you think of Orochimaru?
I mean,
He's not as cool as any of his subordinates.
Yes.
kind
Yes.
of. I don't know. He freaks me out. He just freaks me out, and I don't really like it. I don't
It's
appreciate
always bugged
most
me.
of his shtick.
It's
so.
always bugged me that how he's supposed to be this mega badass, like this amazing villain. Doesn't do much. His subordinates are the cool ones. Like every single person that works under him, like even Kabuto, is fucking cooler than he is. Because he has the most generic based shit.
To be
Hey,
fair,
man.
he can resurrect people. So like,
That's his only thing. And then it doesn't become his thing. It becomes someone else's thing.
Spoilers! Stop it.
Jackson, I will kick you out of this channel if you
I'm
spoil
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry. So I didn't think that was really spoilery because that is so fucking far.
I mean, yeah. To be
that's-
fair, she'll forget by the time we get there. But
Stop
Yeah.
it. Rude. I mean, you're not wrong.
Anyway.
But still.
Anyway, sorry. It's just I've never liked Orochimaru as a villain.
no, Itachi's the best villain.
Yes,
Hands
he
down.
is.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
totally the best
See,
villain.
Megan, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. Yeah.
Actually, the water swordsman dude, he was a pretty good villain for that.
Oh yeah,
whole
that
arc.
guy's cool too. Yeah.
I like Pain. Pain
So
was my
D&D? Question mark.
But yes, Itachi's best villain.
Pain.
But I want to find out what's wrong with Jordan.
It's Pain. Pain is the best.
Incorrect. So my week has been I've been off all week, so that's cool. It means I haven't done much of anything. I played a lot of Dota. Cleaned my house today. Well, I threw all the garbage out and I vacuumed. I didn't really
Didn't
clean my
Dota go
house.
through like a massive change?
Yeah, there's a big update. 7.0.6.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, and it changed basically almost everything about the game again. So it was a good relearning process. Pretty happy with the state of where it's at. So
Yeah. I know you don't care, Jordan, but League went through a similar change.
All
just
free-to-play
recently.
games did. All
Pretty
of
much.
them.
Pretty much, and I've been enjoying the new League update, but that's just for my style of play. Because essentially, tanks are the way to win that game. If you don't play a tank, you're pretty much garbage.
to be fair,
Man.
I did watch Worlds.
So-
that is the thing that happens.
Yep.
Worlds for League or Dota?
Yeah, for League.
Okay.
League. Yeah.
Wasn't there that thing where that guy was like, I hope it goes 3-0 so I can go home early. And then he lost 0-3.
Yeah, Faker said that, and then
Yeah.
they lost 0-3. Hey, but you know what? He called it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, he got to go home early.
He just misinterpreted what he thought was going to occur.
You could tell by second game that he was just God fucking damn it, team, because he was so upset after game
He was
2.
making dumb mistakes though, man. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's got to
Oh,
be
yeah.
mad at himself for some
Oh, yeah.
that went
I mean,
down.
yeah. I mean, he's made mistakes too. So I'm not a big
never-
Faker fan, but you know, there is a reason why he's
Right.
widely considered.
You have to respect the fact that you're the best in the world, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's very
it's
obvious
very interesting.
some of the plays that he does.
Very interesting. The differences. Megan and I talk about this all the time, but the difference between the two big MOBAs. It's just I don't know. It's very weird. Hard to grasp some concepts. When you would think everything is really transferable, it's totally not.
Yeah.
It's totally not.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, and they just updated the system to where runes and masteries have been pretty much smushed together. So now it's just one simplified thing, I guess, but kind of complicated. So everyone doesn't know what is the meta anymore because it's completely new.
Did they get rid of certain ones, or did they combine them? Because I didn't really look at that.
So what they did was essentially they made runes non-existent and
Okay.
made it to where masteries are the only thing, and masteries do a lot more though. So
Okay.
they
I always felt like there was too much going on in there anyway. Like, it's just too complicated.
I mean, they
And it
made
doesn't
it.
really
They
help-
made it interesting because you can mix and match the because now they call them runes, quote unquote. So they replaced the runes with masteries. So, and they got rid of the old runes. So far it's fun, but some of the things are literally broken that like need to be worked completely. Like there's one where you just take gold and items from people. It's ridiculous. So,
Really?
oh yeah, supports are busted in this. It's great.
Yeah. I feel like the difference between the two, because now that I have at least a layman's understanding of the is the skill cap. I feel is way higher in Dota than
Yeah.
it is in League.
It is.
But I feel like individual skill matters more in League than it does in Dota.
Yeah, I would say that.
Because in Dota, there is very, very few situations where a single player can carry the team. And in League, I feel like that happens almost all the time. Like, almost every game, there's like one player who carries the whole team on their back. And they win.
Super fun. Super fun to just raffle stomp people. And
Yeah,
just...
but in Dota, like... and here's the other thing, too. Like, in Dota, heroes decide the strategy, whereas in League, it appears that players decide the strategy. It's very different. Like, you can do almost any strategy in League with any heroes. It's just how the players decide to play. If the player is very push-oriented, or if the player is very, fight-oriented, then it changes. In Dota, you can't do that. Like, you don't do that at all.
There are
pick
certain
the heroes
champions that
will...
are a lot better for certain things.
Right, no, obviously, but I think even then,
yeah,
they all still can do whatever role they want to do. In Dota, the heroes are very specific in what they're really good at, and so you kind of have to build the team with the heroes in mind. Whereas, feel like in League, it's whatever the players are most comfortable or good at doing. Like, if players are really good at being active on the map, then maybe you want to pick up players that want to be fighting a lot. Not necessarily champions, right? Because, any group of 5 champions can fight, right? In League. In Dota, that's not true at all. That's absolutely not true. You can pick 5 heroes that have no team fight capability at all, but still have a solid strategy to win the game. I feel like that does not happen in League. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some minor observations. But we've successfully gone 30 minutes, so great, perfect. That means it's time to play Dungeons and Dragons.
I didn't know that existed.
Didn't know what existed.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I know.
Feels like it's been so long.
Feels like it's been so long, even though we didn't skip a week or anything.
Just always.
Yeah. So couple of things to note. Last time when we were all seated together, we had a little bit of a I don't know if it wasn't dull, but it was more of a recap session where we all had to do the kind of cleanup from the fight with Baron, which we did successfully, quote unquote. And then there was some leading into some preparation as to how we're going to deal with Anders, and how we're going to assault the palace in general. And from there, we had a little bit of an idea. So there were a couple of things that were thrown around. Obviously, approaching from the the parade grounds district is going to be hard because it's very exposed. And essentially, at this point in time, all of the forces that remain within the city have kind of coalesced inside of the palace, or at least inside the palace grounds. Right? It's the final showdown, essentially. Now there was a brief idea of kind of pulling the same act again in perhaps using the walls to your advantage, where you could enter in through the palace area via the rear wall that's located back here. In addition to that, we had a lot of interesting narrative moments in which we got kind of the believed story of the Lady in Black, which I think at least some members of the group believe that to be Aylin's sister now, who, they never found a body, and eventually, perhaps similarly to how Aylin was saved, her sister was saved, to serve the same yet dark purpose, destiny and all that mumbo jumbo. There was also some Morella attempted to locate the garden again. However, was unsuccessful this time, but did have some interesting revelations into, I think, her duty, right? What she needs to accomplish. And also, as a reminder, the other thing is there's still that vision that you were granted, Morella, of somewhere deep down in the keep, or deep down in the dungeons of the palace, there is somebody important that you need to go save, right? Right. Somebody that's going to be vital in the upcoming fight. And Kree, as well, had some interesting revelations after not only grabbing the possible Book of Nagash, or at least maybe duplicate Book of Nagash, also fed it to Noct, who was destroyed utterly, and upon the resummoning, had changed forms, not at the will of you, Kree. It had kind of been altered without your distinct approval. And so, the one thing that is true about the new Noct is that it is not, it's not anything else. It is your spirit entity that you harbor as a partner, right? And I think that the final scene that had kind of occurred was we were going to take our long rest, so that everyone could return to a full complement of spells and abilities and perhaps hit points. Although I think there are probably some of you who might not have enough hit dice. I think some of you might be running low on hit dice. So perhaps we will have to see if finally, well, I say finally, but for the first time in many, many moons, if perhaps the party is beginning to flag a little bit.
Lies. I never flag.
So, why don't we go ahead and do the administrative stuff real quick and get that out of the way. So for those of you that need to roll hit dice or regain any spells, it is after your long rest. Whether you sleep or not, that's up to you. It doesn't matter. But you will at least take a long rest so that you can be prepared for the upcoming onslaught. Now, as someone who is playing Jericho Tannhauser today, I should perhaps see how many.
Well,
Okay, he
I'm
still
gonna roll.
has all of his hit dice.
I have
And-
Jesus,
some
that's a
healing
good
spells
start.
left, by the way, if anybody needs it afterwards, after you spend your hit dice.
Also,
Good.
shit, what was it?
Holy crap!
The-
Stop it.
Before I go to sleep, I want to drop off these scrolls off at
There's also a Song of Rest.
yeah, I want to drop off these scrolls at what's the Bright Order wizard's name?
It's Robert.
Robert. I want to see if he can identify these
Okay.
because he seems a more studious type than me,
Indeed he does.
or I'm a more practical wizard. Well, I'm not a wizard, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, right, totally. So you want to see if he can identify these scrolls. I think that he's certainly. You know what? I think that he can. I think that is a fair thing that he can do. Now, let me allow me to pull up what I had this written down somewhere. Actually, where? Let me see if I can find that real quick.
Okay, 9, 18, 21.
Jordan, can
Yes.
you put Kree's token on top of Noct by any chance?
26,
Well, is your Song of Rest a D10?
31,
Not is in the back.
Jericho's is
40.
Oh, okay. That is. That puts me at.
Oh, never mind. I got it. Thank you.
But you could also roll a D8, and if the D8 is higher than the D10, then you can use my Song of Rest.
What's
That
his
was-
what's his D8? It's a D8, right?
Look at that. Look at that, Will.
Oh,
Look at that, Will.
Wow.
We have
That's
just too much messiness between us.
That
That's
must
why.
be what it is.
No,
Yes,
you're
that's
just
it.
salt, dude.
Man, that was actually pretty
Jesus.
close. I don't think I would have. I don't know if I've been able to get back to full without those 9s.
I really
Okay.
like how I got, like 47 health from 4 die. That was great. That was really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now I'm 1 hit point off, but I could just use a lay on hands and then re-get it back. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Alright. Well, or you could just spend 1 more hit dice.
I mean,
Or are you out?
no. But I don't want to use hit dice if I can use lay on hands because I haven't used it yet, and then it regains on a long rest. So
That's a good point.
Oh, also,
I mean,
need
it's also
to-
for 1 hit point too. It's like
it's been a long rest, so I
Yes.
get to roll an Arcana check for my dragon.
Correct.
voot.
15 is a pass, so add another success to that.
I'm at 6, so I don't think we'll see the end of it by the campaign.
We'll see. We'll see. Depends on how long you take. So Robert identifies those scrolls as scrolls of Gust of Wind. Animal.
Ooh.
Hmm. Okay. All 3 of them?
Yes. Yeah, they were all the same.
Well, also, real quick, just going to try to help
Milo's favorite
Jericho
spell.
out here. Would he have been? Could I have told Jericho that he would also have been able to identify his thing that he got?
Yeah, so the magic ink and quill, right?
Yeah.
So it is, I believe it is, I think I said it's enchantment. The ink and quill serves as a magical item that will, if dictated to, will write what is dictated.
Okay. Yeah. So he has that. So
Mhm.
I just figured I'd help out
Absolutely.
because I don't think if I said I was going to go get my shit identified, I think he would come along.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes perfect sense. Alright, so, with everybody being at the full complement of everything entailed, we resume the communications about how we are to approach this upcoming fight. As we know, the walls are not particularly strong, and storming the castle is certainly a thing that you could do, but I think that there is some danger to that, because there are still quite a few quite a few soldiers inside of the walls that may cause some issues, as well as they have the defensible position. The fortress was built with the mindset of, if the city is overrun, this needs to be like the last bastion of hope, right? Like, you need to be able to hold out in the fortress for weeks until somebody can arrive. So assaulting it is going to be just as hard, if not harder, than the actual city itself. But obviously, all of you are pretty powerful individuals yourselves, and can perhaps overcome those odds with ingenuity, as opposed to brute force or simple delay tactics. Because remember, there is a time limit here, right? The armies that are in the north are marching swiftly to the east in order to use the newly constructed Bridge of Ulrich, which is probably what it'll be called for now and forever, because the great divine power of Ulrich is the one that built it. But the longer that you wait, the more chance that there is for you to then become overrun by the armies pouring into the cities from the other sides that you have not dealt with. So, something to keep in mind.
Can this devastated area up here be called Solomon's Anger from now on?
I think that yes, but more people will call it Solomon's Folly.
I'm fine with that.
That'll be the unofficial name for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I think that as you all begin to awaken, or as you complete your meditations or whatever you might be doing for your 8 hours, the first scene I want to have is actually with Farron, because Farron, during the night, or I should say, like, when you awaken, you have the strangest feeling that during the night you were visited. And I think that maybe you wake up and you kind of like look around to see if there's anything out of place. Where does Bernadette sleep? Like, if you're in a tent or if you're in one of these houses, does Bernadette sleep outside, or does Bernadette sleep next to you? Inside of the house?
Totally, Bernadette's my new love interest, so obviously
right.
Sleeps next to me.
Right. So I think that the one thing you notice that's out of place when you awaken is Bernadette is not in the room. Everything appears to be in the same place you left it the previous night, except Bernadette is not in the room. As well, if you could roll me a perception check, please. Oof. That would have been the one to probably use inspiration on.
Yeah.
I know it's
just
early, but maybe.
I thought, but yeah.
Yeah, so at 12, I mean, the sheets are turned down. It looks like maybe you did some tossing and turning throughout the night, which is probably not unusual for you in these times of great stress, right? And yeah, I don't think you notice anything else besides the fact that Bernadette is no longer in the room.
So I haven't got a knife sticking out of me or something?
Nope, you sure don't.
Okay. I go out and look for...
Okay, it's actually the 5-finger palm exploding heart technique and you die. Congratulations. I'm kidding. Almost.
He's not.
So, as you leave, you see that Bernadette is actually, like, tied to a post outside. And as you, like, kind of exit, you see that she kind of, like wakes up her head and kind of tugs at the rope a little bit. She could probably break it if she wanted to, but it's clear that she's a trained bear, right? She doesn't...
Yeah.
She's been instructed to do something. She's going to do it until told otherwise. But you definitely did not tie her up to the post outside.
I immediately untie Bernadette and try and ask, "Hey, what's wrong, girl? What's wrong?"
Yeah, why don't you roll an animal handling check for me, if you don't mind? I'm just going to give you all the checks here.
Yeah. I feel...
You're a bard. You can do it.
Yeah, because animal handling is so great. that I have to feel inspired by this. 18.
An 18 is good. An 18 is good. So Bernadette, as you like approach, like you go to reach for the rope, and I think that like Bernadette kind of like almost like backs away and maybe goes up on her haunches a little bit. And then after you untie her, she seems particularly interested in the scent surrounding you. She does like a couple of laps around you, like trying to like starting at your shoes and like moving up, and probably at one point, like as you're turning away, like probably like gets up on her hind legs and like rests her massive paws on your shoulders to like sniff your hair at the same time, right? And you're like stumbling under the weight of the giant bear that's on top of you. But yeah, there's something peculiar about her attitude and the way that she is inspecting you thoroughly.
Hey, what's going on, girl? It's me. You don't have to worry about me.
Yeah, and I think like just big tongue lick across the face, right? But then also Bernadette begins like cleaning all of your clothes that you're wearing, right? Like begins like trying to lick you, like just clean you off like she would like a cub, right? Apparently whatever it is, she doesn't like it and wants you to smell like her again.
Amazing. All right.
Do you just leave that for what it is and be like, okay, you're acting weird?
Yeah, there's nothing concrete at this time, so
okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. So the next person I want to talk to is Kree. Brief moment. Kree, after summoning Noct, obviously there's not a whole lot of time left in the day, but would you then attempt to go get some rest?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So right. Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
I will do this with inspiration.
Okay. It's good inspiration.
That is great.
So after a while of tossing and turning, and your mind is wandering and racing to all different parts of your brain, eventually you're able to nod off and get your full rest in. And you wake up feeling unsettled, but refreshed enough to continue on with the day.
It's going to be a big pain in the ass to deal with Noct for the next couple days.
Yeah, and I think that as you awaken and you like go to look at Noct, Noct appears to be eating something. Wherever you left him, appears to be like kind of has his back to you and is chomping down on something. Although not like ripping and tearing like you would notice normal Noct, but appears to be like kind of trying to swallow something, right? Like trying to position something to swallow it whole.
Can I go see what it is?
Sure. It looks suspiciously like it might be a humanoid creature of some sort.
Oh my god, Noct!
I think like the Noct just kind of like looks at you, and there's just a leg sticking out of his mouth.
It's too late. Finish it. Don't leave anything left, Noct.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I think Noct just like does the snake jaw unhinge thing and just like settles the rest of the body into his gullet.
Oh my god, Noct. Just don't stay. Do not move from the tent.
Yeah, he just like impassively looks at you. Sure.
Oh, Jesus.
So then I will bounce to Morella very briefly. How was Morella's sleep?
I don't think she sleeps that much. I think she gets a few hours of sleep before restlessness sets in. Before she didn't sleep that much anyways, but I think now it's apparent that, probably the stress, or I wouldn't say stress for her, but like the closeness to how close her goal is becoming.
Yeah. It's almost like it's adrenaline, right? Not stress.
Yeah. Yeah, it's adrenaline.
It's like, you're kind of like antsy and like your legs are, your legs shake when you sit and, food, like you just don't want to eat because it takes time. Like you need to be doing other things.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would culminate it to, she is more excited right now than anything.
Yeah, so a fire burns in your eyes in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're awake early, like doing morning stretches and like making sure that your armor is still intact, like checking for damage from the night previous, because you got bashed around a little bit the previous day.
No.
So yeah,
it's merely a flesh wound.
Right? Yeah, maybe you're repairing like a leather strap that helps like connect your breastplate or something, right? So, Hannibal, I will bounce to you momentarily. How was your sleep the previous night?
My sleep was a little bit fidgety. I heard a lot of stuff yesterday about for the greater good.
Yeah.
And it's made Hannibal start to think about morality, and he's not used to that.
Interesting. In a general good sense, or in a this is uncomfortable because this is a new feeling sense?
It's more like he's starting to realize that maybe not everything should be classified as okay to dissect and not okay to dissect.
Some things perhaps are too dangerous to mess with.
Because he's starting to see the folly.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop him from dissecting every single creature chaos he sees, but it's something to think about for his further action.
Perhaps you will wear gloves next time.
Maybe.
That is okay. I like it.
Far.
Yeah, no, but I like it. I like that Hannibal is like closing in on the end of this grand campaign that Hannibal has embarked upon, right? There was months of inactivity kind of with Morella, followed by this couple of, this what, 2 or 3 months now that you've been just kind of always going. There's not been a whole lot of downtime since you got to Altdorf and Morella was shot in the chest. So Will, you remember that? Was that a good one? Do you remember when that happened? Remember when Morella almost got one shot? That was fun. That was a good time.
What?
Exactly.
I never got one shot.
You were at like 2 health.
Yeah. For what?
You got
from the assassin
through the chest.
I was at 7 HP. I was fine.
Sure you were. And I love the story about how you weren't expecting us to chase him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I was prepared for you to chase him, but you guys rolled exceptionally well, and I was not prepared for you to catch him. That was the wording I think I used.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay. It happens. That's why this is.
I mean, that was just for me to get knocked out, not to die instantly. So
True.
I can't die.
True. Well, that last part isn't true, but we'll see.
I mean, the game has thus proven that point for me thus far.
So you probably wake up and John is probably like asleep on a desk with a book open, is like drooling onto it, right? Because he's like was up late studying, trying to impress you.
Okay, John.
And he just like gets up and he like wipes his mouth, and like as he stands up, the book like goes sliding off the table.
John.
Yes. What is it? What is something wrong? Is there something I need to do?
What do you think of me?
I think you are wise. I think you are powerful.
Not like that. Morally.
Well,
I know I'm awesome, but I want to know, do you think I'm a good person?
You see, not a whole lot of room for good and bad in my little town. It was survival or not. If you didn't hunt enough game, your family died. Didn't bring enough grain, you didn't have the money to pay taxes. Good and evil are things for priests to worry about, not me. Like there's
Anybody
that
moving?
glimmer of like farmhand wisdom, right? That comes from John in that moment.
Yeah, and just think for a second. Alright, get moving. We're gonna fight chaos again.
I am always ready. I will be more useful this time.
You were plenty useful last time. Don't sell yourself short. You beat to death a skeleton.
Thank you. I appreciate your praise.
Now get moving!
Yeah, and so he kind of like, he snaps to attention and begins like collecting his things and preparing himself for whatever, because no one really knows yet.
How did that monk do?
Which monk?
The storm monk?
Oh, you mean the one you guys murderized?
No, there was one I was assigned to when I tried to go recruit Robert.
Oh. I would say he's still alive for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Because you went to go try and find somebody else that would help you in the wizardry
Yeah, I
ways.
tried to find another
Right.
magic user, and then I got stuck with a monk and an anti-magic field.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely still alive. Too powerful to die, I think, in this immediate moment. Still making his rounds and doing his.
I just wanted to know
thing.
if he was still alive, because something's about to go down, and I think I might want him with me this time.
Yeah, for sure. So last but certainly not least, we move on to Aelin, who, I guess I should ask, does Aelin sleep?
No, probably minimal if she does, mainly because she's just paranoid and trying to keep watch over Bay Hill as much as possible, so crazy sister doesn't infiltrate him in the night and then turn him
That
crazy
is some
against
select
me.
wording.
I worded it that way purposefully. So, yeah.
I love it when we break Will. Breaking Will is like one of my true joys in life.
You're welcome, Will. So, yeah, she's just being protective at the moment.
Okay. Excellent. Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Sure.
I want to see how well you do at staying awake all night.
Really, really well.
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
No problem.
Like if you catnap, you wake up like just a few minutes later, like purposefully, right? Like not because you fell into sleep. It's because you're like, okay, no, I should get a small rest, and like for 5 minutes or so, you basically go on the Iron Man schedule for the night, right? So seeing as you were awake during important times throughout the night, why don't you roll me an insight check, please? And it's going to be targeted at your sleeping Bay Hill.
Ooh, not great.
Not great. So Cahill obviously gets to bed late. He's a pretty important person, and he has to handle quite a few things. And once he does eventually lay his head, his dreams seem restless, or at least his sleep seems restless. As he begins to kind of go throughout the sequences of REM sleep and all that other fun stuff. I think that he tosses and turns quite a bit throughout the night, perhaps giving you some cause for concern. I think that the interesting converse here, though, is in the morning when he awakes. He is as bright and chipper as you've ever seen him. He doesn't appear to be at all put out by the fact that he had such restless kind of tossing and turning night as you witness.